Today, I want to tell you another heartbreaking story. Donnah Ellen Brown was born November 10th, 1963 in Florida. Donnah was the oldest of 3 girls. She was beautiful, smart, and successful in her career as an operating room technician. She met Mark Winger, a nuclear engineer, and they married in a traditional Jewish ceremony in 1989. Donnah and Mark seemed to be a picture-perfect couple. They were successful and owned a nice home in a nice neighborhood. However, not every story ends perfectly like the beginning. On the 29th of August 1995, a Tuesday, Mark Winger contacted 911 at 4:27 p.m., reporting an incident where a man was harming his wife. Mark, residing in Springfield, Illinois, with his 31-year-old wife Donnah Winger, informed the dispatcher that he had shot the man. Upon the police's arrival, they discovered Donnah in a critical condition, having sustained 7 blows to the head with a hammer. A man, identified as 27-year-old Roger Harrington, was found in a critical state beside Donnah, having suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Both victims were promptly taken to the hospital, where Roger succumbed shortly after arrival, and Donnah passed away a few minutes later without regaining consciousness. The police secured the residence, finding no signs of forced entry. Mark, visibly distressed, explained to the police that he shot the man upon witnessing the attack on his wife. Mark detailed that he was in the basement on the treadmill when he heard noises upstairs, prompting him to investigate. He discovered their adopted baby Bailey on the bed in the master bedroom, but found no trace of Donnah. Upon hearing more noises downstairs, Mark retrieved his handgun from the bedroom nightstand and proceeded towards the dining room. According to Mark, he observed a man wielding a hammer in the hallway, assaulting Donnah. Mark shot the man, and upon an attempt to rise, Mark fired a second shot. The police located the blood-covered hammer used in the assault, which belonged to both Donnah and Mark. Additionally, a .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun, confirmed by Mark as the weapon used, was found in the house. When Mark inquired about the identity of the man who attacked his wife, the police confirmed it was Roger. Mark then stated, "That's the man who has been harassing my wife this week." As per Mark's account, Donnah had traveled to visit her parents in Florida 6 days prior. Her mother dropped her off at the airport, and a driver hired through a limousine company in St. Louis, Missouri, named Roger, transported her back to Springfield. According to Mark, Donnah shared that during the 2-hour drive, Roger was excessively talkative and exhibited flirtatious behavior, expressing a preference for older women and extending invitations to intimate parties. The conversation took a darker turn when he disclosed hearing a disturbing voice named Dom, instructing him to harm people. Mark informed the police, stating, "The guy scared her. She said that he was very frightening. He said things about killing people, setting car bombs, mutilating people." Upon Donna's return to Springfield, she informed her family about the unsettling encounter, expressing fear and discomfort due to the alarming conversation and erratic driving. Mark recounted to the police that despite safely reaching home, the situation persisted. Donnah received numerous peculiar phone calls, and based on the timing, she suspected Roger as the caller. In the house, the police discovered a note describing Donna's unsettling car ride. Mark also informed the police that he reported the incident to the limousine company where Roger was employed, resulting in Roger's suspension, which Mark believed might have escalated the situation. The police discovered Roger's car parked outside the Winger house, facing the wrong direction. Upon inspection, they found various weapons inside, including a knife and a tire iron. Authorities concluded that Mark acted in self-defense, and they decided not to press charges considering the traumatic circumstances. The case was closed, with the acknowledgement that Mark had already endured significant distress. Mark appeared profoundly affected by the events. Mark and Donnah had moved to Springfield right after their wedding, where they found happiness. Donnah worked at Memorial Medical Center as an operating room technician, while Mark served as an engineer for the Illinois Department of Nuclear Safety. Despite facing challenges, such as Donna's initial distress upon learning she couldn't conceive, their lives took a positive turn when a doctor informed them of a teenager willing to put her baby up for adoption. Donnah and Mark gladly welcomed their adopted daughter, Bailey, on June 1, 1995. Following Donna's tragic death, Mark, now responsible for the infant Bailey, opted to stay in the same house. To help with childcare, he hired a nanny, Rebecca Simic. Unexpectedly, a few months into her employment, Rebecca discovered she was pregnant with Mark's child. They named their daughter Anna. Subsequently, Mark and Rebecca got married just over a year after Donna's passing. Mark made the decision to sell the house and severed ties with Donna's family. The new family, consisting of Mark, Rebecca, Bailey, and Anna, moved to a different town. Over time, they expanded their family further with the addition of 2 more children, Maggie and Ben. In 1999, Donna's close friend, Deanne Schultz, revealed to the police that she had an affair with Mark while Donnah was still alive, and Mark made troubling statements that stayed with her. According to Deanne, Mark expressed, "It would be easier for us to be together if Donnah just died. All you'd have to do is come in and find the body." Deanne also shared disturbing information that raised concerns for the authorities. When Mark learned about Donna's unsettling experience during the car ride back to Springfield, he allegedly told Deanne that he needed to have the driver in his house. This revelation prompted the police to reopen Donna's case. However, they discovered with disappointment that some evidence had gone missing. Mark initiated a civil lawsuit against BART Transportation, seeking accountability for Donna's death due to Roger's actions. As Roger was an employee of BART Transportation at the time of Donna's death, his attorney requested access to the evidence and files for the civil suit. Despite this, the police managed to retain some files and accessed photos taken on the day of the incident. These images depicted Donnah and Roger on the ground before being taken to the hospital. However, the positions of the bodies seemed inconsistent with Mark's earlier account given to the police years ago. At the time, Mark informed the police that he encountered Roger kneeling beside Donna's head, assaulting her with a hammer, prompting him to open fire. Mark claimed that Roger fell backward, and attempting to rise, Mark shot him again. According to Mark's description, Roger's position should have placed his feet near Donna's head, facing the opposite direction. However, upon reviewing the photos taken by the police upon their arrival, it appeared that both Roger and Donnah were on the ground facing the same direction. This inconsistency led the police, for the first time, to entertain the suspicion that Mark might have been involved in his wife's murder. The question of why Roger was at their house on that day remained unanswered. Simultaneously, during the civil suit involving Mark, a potential explanation emerged. BART Transportation enlisted a blood spatter expert, whose analysis suggested that the blood spatter patterns indicated Mark's involvement in the deaths of both Donnah and Roger. As the police delved deeper into the investigation, they uncovered additional incriminating evidence. Roger's roommate, Susan Collins, informed law enforcement that she overheard Roger arranging a meeting with someone on the day he was killed. Furthermore, a note written on a bank deposit slip inside Roger's car was discovered, containing Mark's name, address, and a specified time. Susan shared with the police that Roger had mentioned agreeing to meet Mark to resolve issues stemming from Mark's complaints about Roger's driving and the concerning conversation he had with Donnah. Roger left the house at 3:30 p.m., and the note indicated a meeting time of 4:30 p.m., aligning with the prosecution's belief that Mark had asked him to come to the house at that time. On August 23, 2001, Mark was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. The prosecution argued that Mark was responsible for both Donnah and Roger's deaths. They contended that Mark desired to remove Donnah from his life, but didn't want to risk losing custody of their adopted daughter, Bailey, and therefore avoided divorce. Allegedly, Mark saw an opportunity when he learned about Donna's troubles with Roger, viewing it as a perfect chance to eliminate Donnah and frame an innocent man. The prosecution proposed that Mark contacted Roger, whom he had never met before that day, and asked him to come to the house. Upon Roger's arrival, Mark allegedly let him inside and fatally shot him. The absence of forced entry at the residence supported this narrative. The prosecution further claimed that Donnah, who was in the master bedroom with Bailey, heard the gunshot, went downstairs, and was subsequently beaten to death with a hammer by Mark before he called 911. To establish that Mark had lured Roger to the house, the prosecution presented the note found in Roger's car, which contained Mark's name and address. The jury learned that although Roger had weapons in his car, he didn't bring them into the house and instead used Donnah's hammer in the attack. This raised questions about Roger's intentions if he had indeed gone there with the purpose of assaulting Donnah. The court was also informed about the inconsistencies between the location Mark claimed Roger was in when he shot him and the photos taken on the same day, which contradicted Mark's account. Deanne's testimony played a crucial role, shedding light on the statements Mark allegedly made expressing a desire for Donnah's death. The court learned that 4 days before the murders, on August 25, 1995, Mark had asked his co-worker, Candace Bolden, about the fate of his adopted daughter if Donnah were to die. Later that day, Mark contacted Ray Duffy, the president of the transport company where Roger worked, to complain about Donnah's ride. A few days after, Mark called again, seeking the driver's full name and expressing a desire to discuss the matter directly with him. During the trial, the court was informed about the severe injuries sustained by Donnah and Roger. When the police arrived at the house, Donnah was found lying face down on the floor, and Roger was on his back. Donnah's cause of death was determined to be brain trauma, resulting from multiple blunt force injuries to the head consistent with hammer strikes. Roger died from brain trauma caused by gunshot wounds to the top left side of his head and above his left eyebrow, with additional contusions on his chest from hammer strikes. The defense contended that Roger's erratic decisions that day, including the choice of weapon and the peculiar parking of his car, indicated mental instability, a claim they asserted was evident from his behavior during the car ride with Donnah. Regarding the position of the bodies and the photos, the defense argued that although Donnah and Roger were critical when paramedics arrived, they weren't deceased, and the paramedics might have moved them in attempts to save their lives. However, the paramedics denied moving them before the photos were taken, and Mark did not testify during the trial. Concerning Deanne's testimony, the defense claimed she was motivated by personal feelings of rejection. While Mark admitted to having an affair with Deanne, he moved on with the nanny he hired soon after Donnah's death, marrying her shortly thereafter. The defense asserted that Deanne harbored resentment for not being chosen by Mark to marry. Despite the defense's arguments, the jury found Mark guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, and he received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. In 2005, while still serving time for the first-degree murder convictions, Mark became involved in a murder-for-hire plot that was thwarted. Allegedly, he attempted to orchestrate hits on Deanne for testifying against him and on Jeffrey Gelman, a childhood friend, for not posting his $1 million bail. Investigators discovered 19 handwritten pages outlining Mark's desires for Deanne. He reportedly wanted her kidnapped and coerced into writing a statement recanting her testimony, asserting Mark's innocence before planning for her demise. Mark claimed in court that these notes merely represented a fantasy he never intended to carry out. Despite Mark's assertion, he was found guilty of solicitation of murder and received an additional 35-year prison sentence. Donnah's mother, Sarah Jane, and Donnah's stepfather, Ira Drescher, expressed their overwhelming response to the evidence against Mark, emphasizing the brutality of Donnah's murder. What's so hard to understand is the way he murdered Donnah was so vicious and so violent. Throughout these legal proceedings, Mark has maintained his innocence. Deanne, who provided testimony against him, was granted immunity and faced no charges as a result. What do you think about this story? Share your opinions in the comments. Thanks for watching and for being with us.